do want me to search? I'll see what's on if you want me to.
The mountain will lead to a molehill, as they say. Because I know him and I've known him. He's not a street kid. He's not a gangster. He's not a person. It's not in his character, any of this. Boxing icon Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has shared a statement in Spanish on his social media. I'm going to translate it for you to English and share with you what he said in Spanish. Obviously, you heard the news, breaking news. This really shocked me because I know Julio. I've known him for many, many years. He's one of my favorite fighters in boxing because he's a tremendous human being. None of these accusations make sense to me. They say that he's part of a Sinaloa cartel, that he's involved with importing weapons and ammunitions and all kinds of stuff that's so far removed from him, it's not even funny.
Boxing pros are speaking out after Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was arrested by immigration authorities on July 2nd. The well-known Mexican boxer is now facing deportation proceedings from the United States. Reports suggest he's dealing with legal issues back in Mexico. The news has shocked many in the boxing community, while others maintain that the law should apply equally to everyone.
You do want me to search? I'll see what's on if you want me to. ¿No tienes algo en sus zapatos?
No.
¿Pocillos?
Nada.
¿No tienes nada?
Mi celular aquí en la parte de atrás.
Aquí has a cell.
A ver. No tienes nada contigo, ¿no?
He has pockets in the front of the jacket.
¿El teléfono? Sí. Oh, it's on. Ahí no le informan a mi abogado lo de cuando ya tengo una orden. Te vamos a llamar, vamos a dar llamada. Sí, pero por ejemplo, él no me dio el avisado.
Boxing legend Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. has broken his silence following his son's arrest. In a family statement, Chavez Sr. said, "We have full confidence in his innocence." Julio is, above all, a son, a father, and a human being who has faced many challenges in both his personal and professional life. We ask that due process be respected and that no premature judgments be made. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s immigration status has become a major headline after his recent arrest.
Far removed from him, it's not even funny. So here's the statement from Chavez Sr. In essence, I'm going to translate this, but he says the family wants to respond to the statements that have been made by U.S. officials, and they say, hey, we are deeply dismayed. The family is caught off guard by this situation, but it says difficult times. We are totally and have unconditional support for Julio. We fully trust he is innocent, and I believe that as well. They say they're going to wait till the justice system in both Mexico and the U.S. do their process. They do believe Julio will come out innocent of all this, and they want people not to jump to conclusions. They also say Julio, above all, is a son, a father, a human being who has faced multiple challenges in his personal and professional life. As a family, they say, Julio says, we respectfully ask the media to wait for the process to unfold, to see where it goes, and they know that Julio will be vindicated here. They said they're not going to do any further statements at this time. They appreciate is to allow the authorities to complete their investigation and do their work. This statement ends, I'm going to try to read to you the following. Again, it's translation from Spanish to English. We asked for a prompt resolution that clarified the facts in favor of Julio, and we reiterate our call for procedure, respect, and objectivity. Sincerely, the Chavez family. So Julio is asking the media to give him respect. At this time, they don't want to comment until this situation unfolds, until the authorities complete their investigation. They're shocked, they're in dismay, but they're out supporting their son, who's had challenges in both his personal and professional life.
As a Mexican citizen, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was required to keep his documentation current while living in the United States, particularly as he competed in high-profile boxing matches. Reports suggest his documents had long expired, yet he continued to live and fight in the U.S. without resolving his legal status. That failure has now caught up with him, resulting in his detention and the start of removal proceedings. The situation underscores the serious consequences athletes can face when legal obligations are neglected.
Breaking news at 11:30, Mexican boxer Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has been arrested by ICE after his fight with Jake Paul over the weekend. Officials say that Chavez is an undocumented immigrant with alleged Sinaloa cartel ties. They say that he was taken into custody yesterday and is being processed for expedited removal. He faces an active arrest warrant in Mexico tied to organized crime and weapons trafficking. Federal officials releasing the photo along with a statement that reads in part, quote, "Under President Trump, no one is above the law, including world-famous athletes."
The arrest of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has sparked strong reactions across social media, further amplified by a tweet from Jake Paul stating, "Canelo is next." Fans and commentators quickly speculated that Paul was implying Canelo Alvarez might face similar immigration scrutiny. Although Canelo's situation is entirely different, the tweet added fuel to an already heated conversation about the intersection of sports, immigration, and legal accountability. Many viewed Jake's comment as a deliberate provocation, likely intended to generate hype or controversy around himself. Meanwhile, the boxing world, still reeling from Chavez Jr.'s legal troubles, is learning that his issues extend beyond expired documentation. Allegations have emerged suggesting that during his time in the U.S., he was involved in questionable activities that further complicated his legal standing. Despite having an expired visa, Chavez Jr. managed to secure and participate in a major bout against Jake Paul, raising serious questions about oversight by boxing authorities. The fact that he competed on such a high-profile stage while allegedly violating immigration laws has drawn sharp criticism of the regulatory systems that allowed it. These allegations have only intensified the scrutiny surrounding his recent arrest.
Some news: Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., the boxer who just fought Jake Paul, has been arrested by U.S. immigration agents and faces deportation to Mexico. ICE took Chavez Jr. into custody on July 2nd in Studio City, just 4 days after his match with Paul. Officials say he overstayed his visa and is wanted in Mexico for organized crime, including trafficking weapons and ammunition. According to the Department of Homeland Security, Chavez is connected to the Sinaloa Cartel and has an active arrest warrant in Mexico. He had entered the United States in August 2023, and his tourist visa expired in February. Despite this, he fought in a major boxing event last week against Jake Paul. The Trump administration immigration authorities are moving quickly to deport him under an expedited removal process. This case highlights the administration's intensified immigration enforcement even against high-profile figures, and spotlights Chavez Jr.'s fall from grace in the boxing world. I will keep you updated on this. I'm Jared Zisser. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for all breaking news, updates, full stories, and deep dives.
The timing of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s arrest has raised eyebrows, coming so soon after his high-profile fight against Jake Paul. A tweet from UFC 5th Round, stating Jake Paul ruined his career and life in the U.S., reflect a sentiment shared by many fans who believe that the bout became a turning point, exposing Julio Jr. to heightened public and official scrutiny. The well-known boxing reporter Elie Seckbach has spoken out in support of Julio Jr., suggesting that authorities may have erred in detaining him. Seckbach, who says he's known Julio Jr. for years, has questioned the seriousness and validity of the allegations from Mexican authorities. While the U.S. Department of Homeland Security has cited active warrants in Mexico for alleged crimes, including ties to organized crime, Seckbach insists that Julio Jr. is being unfairly targeted. His remarks highlight the divided opinions within the boxing community over whether Julio Jr. truly deserves the intense legal attention he's now facing.
This is all a big shock, not anything that anyone expected.
Boxing reporter Elie Seckbach, who runs ES News, has been friends with Chavez Jr. for 15 years.
Unbelievable, unreal. Yeah, they're putting chains on him like he's a...
He even submitted a personal impact statement to help support Chavez's application for a specialized visa.
He's a great dad. He loves his wife. He loves his kids. He's the type of person that if I do a video about a coach that his kid has cancer, he will call me 6 a.m. Hey, my lawyer's going to send you money for the kid. We're going to take care of the expenses.
But Homeland Security tells a very different story. Officials say Chavez Jr. is wanted in Mexico on serious charges linked to organized crime, accused of trafficking firearms, ammunition, and explosives. They also allege he has ties to the Sinaloa Cartel.
There's always more to the story. The headline doesn't always reflect the content.
They're saying he's got a connection to the cartel.
I think they're making a mistake here.
The unusual timing of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s legal troubles has prompted some on social media to draw parallels to unrelated cases, including that of Diddy. After Diddy was found not guilty, Chavez Jr.'s arrest struck some observers as suspiciously timed. A tweet from Les Gomez stating, Chavez Jr. gets locked up once Diddy gets out. Coincidence? I think not. Illustrates how public narratives often link events that may have no real connection. Meanwhile, the decision to allow Julio Jr. to participate in such a high-profile fight despite unresolved immigration issues has come under heavy criticism. Many are questioning how regulatory bodies, promoters, and officials permitted the bout to proceed. This has sparked concerns about the integrity of the sport's governing systems and whether proper checks and due diligence were conducted before approving the match.
Boxing world is absolutely crazy right now. It looks like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has been arrested by ICE and will currently be deported back to Mexico. It looks like he had an arrest warrant in Mexico during his fight with Jake Paul. Looks like he came over to basically handle some business, and now they're going to deport him and send him back. This is absolutely crazy. You get into a boxing match with Jake Paul. He then beats you. You collect your check. And then, you go back across the border. Seems like he wasn't able to get out of here fast enough before avoiding maybe this, detection. I'm assuming that kind of situation probably, played out. Maybe he's trying to get out of here. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know. I'll try to keep you guys updated with this story. It's really crazy. Drop it in the comments. Let me know what you think. Also hit that like and subscribe.
Homeland Security's statement that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is wanted in Mexico for alleged involvement in organized crime has added a grave dimension to this unfolding saga. These accusations extend far beyond the realm of sports, placing him at the center of significant international legal concerns. Authorities allege connections to illegal activities involving controlled materials and other offenses, making his case not merely an immigration issue, but a potential matter of public safety.
We have breaking news right now. ICE has detained a world-famous boxer, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., just days after his fight with Jake Paul in the United States of America. This is significant news. According to ESPN, he was detained for entering the United States illegally and will allegedly be deported to Mexico, where he faces organized crime charges according to the Department of Homeland Security. He just finished fighting a match against Jake Paul in Anaheim, California, and this arrest comes days after that. Official says he has an active arrest warrant in Mexico for alleged involvement in organized crime and trafficking firearms. He is a famous boxer, one of the most famous boxers in the entire world. He was here for a massive fight with Jake Paul. This was one that was watched by millions of people across the country, and well, now he has been detained by ICE and is going to be sent back to Mexico. Significant news right now. Spread the word. I'll have a full breakdown of this on my Substack at the link in my bio, so subscribe for free, and as always, follow along for all the news you need to know about.
Some see the arrest of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. as an example of the stricter immigration enforcement that has persisted since former President Trump's administration. Trump's policies place strong emphasis on cracking down on undocumented immigrants, and many believe that approach has continued. High-profile cases like Julio Jr.'s are viewed by some as sending a clear message about the seriousness with which immigration laws are now enforced.
If you are considering entering America illegally, don't even think about it. You will be caught. You will be removed, and you will never return.
In recent weeks, the United States Department of Homeland Security broadcasted ads like this one across Mexico, warning migrants not to enter the United States illegally, offending some in the country.
I'm Mexican, and I'm very proud to be Mexican. So yes, of course it's offensive. It's unacceptable. Well, I completely disagree, because the issue of immigration is not a political, geographical, or social one. To me, the issue of immigration is a matter of humanity.
Mexico's president has called these odds discriminatory and says her government plans to ban them.
No foreign government, no identity in any foreign government should be able to pay. The thing is, they're paying to spread these announcements. This propaganda that has a discriminatory message.
When asked for comment on Mexico's response, DHS said to CNN that its ad campaign is working. The data shows the world is hearing our message. Border crossings have reached the lowest ever recorded.
Chavez Sr. has long voiced concern for his son, especially as Julio Jr. has struggled with personal issues, including time spent in rehab. He was reportedly against his son's decision to fight Jake Paul, fearing it might cause more harm than good. In the aftermath, criticism of Julio Jr.'s performance has been intense, with many arguing that it has tarnished the legendary Chavez family name.
Jake Paul has defeated Chavez Jr., right? This fight, Chavez got active in them last 3 rounds and he really showed his power. But throughout most of the fight and throughout those first 5 or 6 rounds, right, most of us were saying, is Chavez here to fight or not? Because he was not throwing very much at all. And then you thought maybe the strategy is let Jake Paul get tired because he's not used to going 10 rounds, and then maybe in those last couple rounds you could get him. But Jake Paul did get fatigued down the stretch, but he still held on. He looked well even in the final 3 rounds when Chavez was pouring it on enough to get over the top. I'd say it's impressive considering Chavez Jr. is a former champion for Jake Paul. Probably going to get a title shot soon. My question to y'all is, what did y'all think of the fight? When Chavez first came out, man, I'm like, he's not throwing. Jake Paul looked really active. I go, when is Chavez going to throw? Then Chavez began to throw, and you thought maybe the strategy is let Jake Paul get tired and then try to beat him down the stretch, right? Which I think that was the strategy. But Paul proving to hang on, and Chavez goes down in this one. So guys, what do y'all think about the fight? What do you think about Jake Paul's performance, and can he get a title shot?
An alternative view gaining traction is that the fight wasn't rigged, but was simply a cash grab. Julio Jr.'s low punch count and lack of preparation have convinced many that he stepped into the ring purely for the payday. Some argue the entire spectacle was a mistake that could have been avoided if those around him had intervened. Fans were stunned by how uncharacteristic his performance was. A fighter once known for his aggression looked unwilling or unable to engage. The absence of any real effort only fueled suspicions that something was amiss, with many accusing the event of being staged.
40 in 6 months. And he's been off the El Chapitos. He's been off the El Mayo Zambada up his nose. So he's probably more like 48, adjusted. A 48-year-old man. Okay? There's numerous angles here, right? Was he paid not to throw punches? That's possible. Is he just 48 in La Coca years? That's also possible. What we know for a fact is, Fake Paul's useless, honestly. He's proper useless. Chavez like this, just standing there. No pace. The last few rounds he had a little bit of pace. Even then, Fake Paul just clings on though. Fake Paul's, I've been saying this, Fake Paul's got no inside at all. He's got no stand, and let's have a look. Let's work here. If he's coming at me. He clings on for dear life. He kind of pushes his punches out, slap, slap, slap. No, all this talk of power. These dudes, Chavez actually, he looked a bit smaller than Fake Paul. Fake Paul's not a cruiserweight. He's a light heavyweight, honestly. He's so soft. He's got like these big rubber dinghy arms. Big rubber, soft. Not. Chavez looked more like an athlete. But that'll be on, well, is Jake Paul going to fight anyone? They're already walking back the Zurdo situation. Oh, Zurdo don't sell. Well, we knew Zurdo didn't sell. In fact, you're telling me Chavez sells more than Zurdo? It's probably, Zurdo has a belt, 2 belts though. Right? How was Chavez selling it? I don't know. The name, his name, old time's sake, 40 years ago, what his pops was doing? Really?
As one fan tweeted, Jake Paul fight clearly rigged. No way a real boxer sat there for 8 rounds barely throwing a punch. But in the last 2 rounds, he starts to really box and looked fresh as hell. Nah, you can't tell me nothing. He was told to lose this fight and in the end try and get the win. This tweet echoed the sentiments of many fans who felt the fight's strange pacing and Julio Jr.'s sudden burst of energy in the final rounds. Didn't add up. While many hadn't expected a dominant performance from Julio Jr., given his past struggles, confusion grew when some fans claimed they saw Jake Paul declare the winner prematurely, further fueling suspicions of rigging and a prearranged outcome.
As you are watching this video, Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez are currently right now in the 7th round of their fight. But when you go to Google and Google the fight, it gives an accurate breakdown of all their past fights. And then it comes to the current fight, And it says that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. loses a unanimous decision to Jake Paul in 2025. The fight has not even played out yet. Yet they're saying that this is the end results as they are fighting right now, currently as it stands. This leans testament to the fact that people state that Jake Paul has his fights fixed. What's your thoughts on this? This is nasty work. Unbelievable. This is Google. Google it yourself. Peace.
Following Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s defeat by Jake Paul, his arrest has added even more drama to the unfolding story. Fans are buzzing about how these events occurred so close together, fueling debate and confusion. Many are questioning whether the fight and his legal troubles are somehow connected or merely a bizarre coincidence. One fan captured the sentiment in a tweet. "Wow, ICE just arrested boxer Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. for being in the country illegally and for alleged ties to the Sinaloa cartel. A few days ago, he got hooped in a boxing ring by Jake Paul. I love this so much. That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates.